Hello, everyone. It's time to talk about plagiarism, which is a subject that you may have heard going around for the past week or so. The story has been covered quite a bit already. It is essentially what happens when a guy who worked for IGN, one of the biggest gaming sites in the world, he went by the name of Filip Miucin, and he has essentially been plagiarizing for years. And the way that he seems to do it is just by taking exactly what other people say, whether it's in a YouTube video, or a forum post, or even Wikipedia, and in some cases even other IGN reviews, and he just says it, and he barely changes the words. And thankfully this guy was caught, and he has been punished. I'm very glad with the outcome of this story so far. I'm especially glad that IGN is trying to compensate the original YouTuber who exposed this because he watched a review of the game he had reviewed and realized it was the same review. So I'm glad they're trying to make things right with him. It's easy to dogpile on this guy. I don't like him one bit, especially his almost apology video, which he has since deleted. He really doesn't come off as very sympathetic. But I thought I would give my take on this topic, because even though I really don't make videos for an audience at this point, I still try to avoid these problems. And the way that I've been avoiding it is I don't watch other videos about video games anymore. I just don't. It's very rare that I'll do that. Even then, I'm pretty careful and choosy about it. And the reason I do this is because I don't really want to be talking off the cuff and accidentally say something that someone else online has said. It happens sometimes when you're just kind of talking. If I was writing a script, I definitely would not do this. Alright, that's for sure. But there have been points where I've been recording fast impressions videos, which don't really have a script. They have some notes. I've stopped myself and gone, I just said something that sounds like something Super Bunny Hop might say. Or like Matthew Matosis. And, I go back and re-record it because it's just kind of awkward to almost feel like you're using someone else's voice. If you catch any of those in some of the old videos, let me know because it's kind of funny. It's not intentional, and I've never said anything they've said in relation to a game they've discussed. It's just like, ooh, that sentence structure, it doesn't sound like me, But that's really the simplest way that I try to avoid this. I just don't watch other people's content anymore. And Philip does it a lot. And he just takes. And he reads articles and just takes. And with him, it's clearly intentional. But it does happen to people where you do it unintentionally. It's very common in, comedy. A lot of comedians just don't really watch other people perform because, they don't want to accidentally kind of take something they've heard and integrate it into their routine. And I'm probably not the only person who's chosen to do this. I think that most people aren't watching other people's content for this very reason. You want to have your own voice, and you want to have your own thoughts. And obviously looking at what other people are saying about stuff, that's good because you can think about it, and it can help form your opinion, or maybe you disagree with it, and it's interesting to hear another perspective. But the last thing I want to be doing is taking something from someone else. It's just awkward, and I would never do it intentionally. And so I'm actually more worried about accidentally plagiarizing. That said, I think it is fitting that within the confines of this story, it started with a small YouTuber realizing he'd been stolen from. Because I think that happens a lot more than people realize. It definitely happens quite a bit within the YouTube sphere. I'll link some examples below, actually. There have actually been several channels that, they don't speak English. The audience is not English speaking. And so the channels, they are basically just recreating videos in another language. Happens all the time. You also have people just straight up stealing. There was a very infamous incident involving the Blue Yeti microphone from a couple years ago. I remember that one. And I don't know why people do it. I think they just think they won't get caught because YouTube is a very insular but also large group. Like, you only watch a few channels. People don't watch every single channel, obviously. So if you just have your small little circle and you have fans that, they're sticking to that circle, they might not know that you're stealing. I think that's the logic behind it. And it's pretty bad. I mean, I'm definitely trying to be careful and avoid all things even close to that. I'll give you some examples. I'm working on 2 videos now, and with both of them, there's a fair amount of research that needs to be done because the games, they have, well, one of them has more behind-the-scenes stuff than other, but this is an interesting part of both games, I feel. So I am doing a lot of research where I'm looking into interviews that the designers have given. I'm looking into live streams they've done. I'm looking into other articles that I will intend to link in the final video because there's information there. And scouring the internet for research. And I have to be really careful to make sure that I'm crediting people who deserve to be credited, and I'm not literally just taking the exact quote from a news article or Wikipedia and putting it in the video. I don't want to do that. That's part of why one of these videos has taken a while, because there's a lot of research, and it's very difficult to format. I have a feeling a lot of it's just going to get cut for time. But I guess those are some of the different angles that plagiarism can take. It's not always done out of sheer greed. Sometimes it is done by accident or laziness. In Filip's case, it was, I think, a combination of laziness and greed, because in the case of the Dead Cells review that started this whole thing, that's a 4-minute video. All right, that's the original video that the original channel made. It was 4 minutes long. It's not very long. I could probably very easily put out a 4-minute video. I try to shoot for more. No disrespect to the original channel. If he wants to do a 4-minute review, that's fine. But that's what shocks me, is that Filip can't come up with 4 minutes of original content or original thinking. And that's just sad. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any thoughts about plagiarism, or you know other examples of plagiarism on YouTube, let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time.